We're gonna give about another 30 seconds or so in case anybody else jumps on. Steve, I see you hanging around from last class. Appreciate you. Hopefully this is different enough for you. Well, that was some tricep work, but those who don't know what I'm talking about, we did start a equipped class at 5 o'clock Monday and Wednesday. So right before strength flow, we do have a equipment-based class. If you do have any equipment at home, dumbbell, kettlebell, bands, anything like that, or if you want to find out how to get a little bit more creative in the stuff that you do have at home with pillows and towels and stuff like that, that's the class for you. So Monday, Wednesdays, 5 o'clock. But here we're here for a strength flow. We'll go ahead and get started. So you're going to make your way down to your mat. We do prefer, at least I prefer this class typically without shoes on, so we're going to focus a little bit more on grounding ourselves, working some of that minute musculature in the foot that you don't normally get with our other classes. So what we're going to do is we can start in kneeling position. We're going to cheat our front foot forward just a little bit, all right, so about a few, 4 or 5 inches. And we're just going to hinge those hips going forward. Back leg is going straight out, and you see the top of my foot is down towards the mat. We're just looking to extend it through the back hip. And hold that for just a couple seconds, and reverse that hinging back into a hamstring stretch. So in this position, front foot is gripping the ground through those toes that we exposed, trying to extend through that hamstring. And we're just going to get a couple reps through those two positions. We're really trying to push that front knee out over those toes and pulling back. This position, think about your tailbone and the top of your head shooting in opposite directions. So really extending through that torso. And then we'll do one more time, hinging forward. Really open up. Try not to exaggerate your back bend. Bad habit. And hinging back. And then we'll up and switch sides. So front foot out just a little bit forward, hinging forward, keeping those abs nice and tight. Again, try not to overextend that back. Should feel a little bit through this hip, this back hip, pushing back. If you need to hang out into either of these positions a little bit longer than I am, please feel free to do so. We're just going to kind of move through this. Since this is a flow mobility class, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time in the warm-up mobility, but I do want to make sure that if you're just coming off of the desk, you are priming your system to be able to make those connections and be able to move freely with as little discomfort to no discomfort as possible. All right, so while we're already down here, we're going to just extend that back leg up. We're going to do a variation of this world's greatest stretch. So typically we're going to open up into our knee. What I want you to do, my right foot is forward, my right hand is going to go right on the inside of that foot. And what I'm going to do is my back foot's going to turn out. I'm actually going to open to the open side. Okay, I'm going to hold that for just a breath. And then what I'm going to do, watch closely, is turn that back foot around. And I'm going to close that hip. So now I'm going to open that chest out to the opposite side. If you want to extend that arm up for a little extra, you can. And we're just going to work on opening and closing that hip on that same side. So this hip right here, I'm going to open that hip. I'm going to close that hip. And one more time. Open that hip. And close that hip. All right, both hands down, step back. I'm going to go to the opposite foot now. I'm going to open that back foot, open those hips. A little bit easier for me on this side. I'm going to work to close those hips. So you have a lot more mobility on this side. I can really feel that. All right, open back up. And closing. And last time, open those hips. And close. All right. Make our way down to all fours. We're going to hop up into that primal position. We're going to work that under switch. Okay, if you haven't done this position before, or in all fours, those knees are just up off the ground. I'm going to keep my feet planted. My right knee is going to scrape against the ground, and all I'm coming is to a single arm bridge. Okay, my feet are exactly where I started with them. All right, I'm just kind of moving from facing down to facing up. All right, I'm going to come back to that primal beast position. I'm going to go to the other side. All right, after I do one of each side, I'm just going to send those hips up into a little bit of downward dog, right back into that beast position, and repeat. All right, I'm going to have you do 4 rounds of those. Left, right, down dog, back to start. Just focus on pressing that hand down into the ground, creating that good, strong single arm bridge. Getting a little bit of mobility through those shoulders. Getting some strength in those shoulders. Pushing up. Once you get all 4, we're going to go ahead and relax. All right. Flow-wise, we're going to start with the most complicated flow first. Okay. So, this is a 20-minute class, right? Yeah. Okay. Most complicated flow first. So, watch me first, and then we'll all go through it. So, if you're in a confined space like me, I'm going to start as far to the left as possible. I'm going to put my right foot down. My left foot is going to come back into a curtsy squat. If you're not sure what a curtsy squat is, all right, pretend you're going back for a lunge, all right, and I'm just going to slide that back foot over into a curtsy, okay? So, I'm going to slide my left foot, I'm on my left side, swinging my left foot back into a curtsy. This knee is going to stay up off the ground, okay, on the ground, off the ground. It's going to stay off the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot on both feet. Thank you, Linda. All right, I'm going to pivot on both feet all the way around to a kneeling position. Okay, I'm going to do that again. To my left side, on my right foot, the left leg is going to come back into a curtsy. I'm going to plant both feet. I'm going to pivot on both feet all the way around to a kneeling position. Okay? From this kneeling position, I'm going to, without using my arms, I'm going to push my weight onto my left leg, and I'm going to drive up into a balance. Okay? In this balance position, my left hand, I'm going to grab my left ankle. My right hand is going to cradle my right knee like a baby head. I'm going to pull this up into a full leg cradle. All right, and that's going to finish that movement. All right, now I'm towards the right side. I'm going to balance on my left leg, right foot. I'm going to curtsy down. I'm going to plant both feet, pivot both feet, all the way around into a kneeling position. Push down on my right foot, stand up into a balance. Right hand to right ankle, left hand to left knee, right hand to ankle. It's your left one. They're both your left, but leg grip. Okay. I'm going to do it again, a little bit more full speed with me. Okay. Left leg dropping back, pivot around to kneeling, up into balance, cradle. Finish facing me. All right. I'm going to go through that a few times. Boom, boom. All right. So working a little bit of our balance. If you want to take this up a notch, all right, when we go for that pivot, you can stay into this front leg. So instead of dropping that knee into a true kneeling position, you can stay in this low lunge and drive out of that lunge. Okay? Boom. We're going to give about another minute or so to kind of work through this flow. All right. What I want to see as well is when you're pivoting, stay low. All right. Notice my hips are not coming up at any time until I'm finishing that movement. All right. Tendencies, people like to come up when they rotate. That's not doing a whole lot of good for you. Stay low, pivoting all the way around, up, boom. All right. more time on each side, pivoting around, up, cradle. Make sure you're getting a good cradle. Really hug that knee in. If you've been to this class before, you know that I like to use this first flow as a kind of a warm-up. All right. So everybody feel good with that? As good as you're going to feel? It's going to be the headless class right here. Everything's happening down here. All right. Feeling nice and warmed up? Ready for the next one? So now that your single leg balance is ready, we're going to move into some more single leg stuff. So you can stay with me on this one. Let's do this all together. I'm going to start on my left leg. All right, my right knee is going to come up into a trigger foot position, which means that I have my table, place my glass right on my table, right? My toes are pulled up at me. All right, in this position, I'm going to hinge this leg back into a sprinter's position, okay? Notice there's about 85–90% of my weight is on this front foot. All right, I'm on very little weight on this back foot. If you were to draw a straight line vertically from tips of my toes to my knees to the center of my chest, those are all going to be right above each other, okay? As opposed to a traditional lunge, you're a little bit here. That's a very non-vertical line, all right? So your weight is shifted forward. I'm really extending that back leg back, okay? From this position, I'm going to drive that knee up, back into that balance. That's part one. Part two, I'm going to hinge this leg back into an airplane RDL with those arms going forward. Okay, find that balance right over the middle of that foot. I'm going to pull that back up into that trigger foot position. That's part two. I'm going to turn for part three. Part three, I'm going to extend this leg out to the side, extend those arms diagonally across. Okay, from the side, I am straight in a line. I'm not shooting that foot back or forward, straight right out at 3 o'clock. All right, back to that balance and relax. Okay, we're going to do that whole flow on the right side so you can kind of nail that positioning. Okay, so on our right leg, left foot into that trigger foot position. I'm going to hinge back into our sprinter's lunge. Remember those toes, knees, chest. Check it out. Can you bring that left foot up off the ground without losing your balance? If your weight is here and you have to shift and do this, all right, you have too much weight on that back foot. We're going to lean into that front foot. Think about head to heel, strong as steel. Okay? Right here, driving up, back to that trigger foot position. Okay? Hinging over into that RDL. Extend those arms and legs. All right, back into trigger foot. Going to the lateral reach. Just looking to touch that toe down, keeping as much weight onto that right foot as possible. Really extending those arms as long through the lats as possible. Back to that trigger foot. Find that balance and back down. All right, so we're going to do that a couple times. We're going to do it twice on the left, twice on the right. And then depending on what time it looks like, we might do that all over again. All right, so a couple of cues to look out for. On your sprinter's lunge, back to start, that's going to be the only one that is explosive, okay? When we're here, we're driving back up, I want you to regain that balance. Everything else coming from that RDL, I want you to slow hinge back into it, all right? It doesn't have to be explosive. If you want to, go for it. I'd rather you be in control, focus on the movement prior, okay? Great, let's do it. So I'm going to start on the left foot. I'm bringing that right into that trigger foot position, making sure we have that table for that glass of water, all right? I'm going to hinge that right leg back, reach into that sprinter's position, all right, like you're ready to run, all right? And up into that trigger foot position. In control, find that balance. Hinge that airplane RDL. Extend those arms, extend those legs, kick that heel back, extend, and back to center. All right, we're going to go laterally. Reach that foot out to the right, really extend, stretch through that lat, and back to center, still in that left leg. All right, we're going to run that same one just again. Sprinter's position. Extend my left leg, right leg's back. Up. Find that balance in control. Soften that left knee, all right? Don't lock that out. It's going to make your balance a little harder. All right, let's go into that RDL. Extend. Find that balance. Back to center. All right, find that balance. Lateral. Really extend. And back to center. And relax. All right, should be pretty fired up through the calf or your ankle. That's what we want. All right, we're going to flip that around. Go to the other side. If you're having trouble in that RDL, which a lot of people do, here's what we're looking out for. Think about like a T, like a teeter-totter, okay? Your legs and your arms are the two ends of the teeter-totter. Your down foot, your hip is going to be the fulcrum, that center point, okay? What we want is it to be balanced, so we're in a good true T. If our legs start kind of hanging down here, we're going to be very arm heavy, all right? We're going to lose a lot of balance there, all right? If our arms do not come up, if our leg is very high straight out, we're going to be very back heavy. Both are going to be very difficult to balance. So let's take all the guesswork out of it, and let's just focus on extending both of them as long as we can, creating tension through the whole body like a rope, all right? And then can hold that position. All right, it's going to be a lot easier to balance, creating tension, okay? Push those arms away, push that foot away, find that balance, all right? Let's plant that left leg, bring that left knee up. Got that table for the glass of water, all right? Let's hinge back into that sprinter's position, all right? Remember, we're on different legs, so it might be a little bit weird. Find that position, find that balance, and up. Find that balance, good. Hinge into that RDL, what we just talked about. Extend those arms, extend those legs, kick that heel, reach those fingers. Good, and balance. Back to the middle. And extend laterally, reach that toe, reach those fingers, create that tension. And back to balance. Get it under control, we're gonna do the same side one more time. Hinging back, sprinter's position. And up. Good. Hinge over. RDL. Reach. Keep those hips turned in, facing the ground. And back to balance. Nice. One more time. Going laterally. Big reach. Big reach, big reach. And back to balance. And relax. Nice. All right, so we're going to do one more time. We'll round on all those. We'll wrap it up. And we'll get you out of here. All right. So a lot of times it won't work. A lot of that fine musculature, as we talked about, through your calves, through the bottom of your foot. All this balance work is, see my face a little bit. All this balance work is focused on your feet. All right. Very minute, minor corrections in our foot. Gripping with those toes, with that heel. Find that balance inside the outside. That's good. All right. If you need to touch a foot down. So if you get to a position and you're really losing that balance, right, feel free to just touch that toe down and get back into it. All right, try not to come out and be here and then find your way back into it. Right, just quick tap, or if you have a counter or a table and you need a quick adjustment, that's fine. Okay, that's what you're here for, is to help improve where your balance is and try to get that to the next level. All right. So we're going to go one more time around. It's going to be a little bit quicker on this one. All right. I'm going to try to do this from the front. See if that makes any difference from the viewer. All right. So we're going to start on our left foot. We're going to bring that tabletop up. Oh, yeah. You see how parallel that is to the ground? Okay. We're going to hinge back into that runner's position. All right. All that weight is forward. Up. Boom. All right. Find that balance. Hinge over. RDL. Straight like an arrow. And back to balance. Going to that lateral reach. All right, reach that toe out as far as possible. Big stretch through that lat. And back to balance. One more time around. Sprinter's position. And up. Good. We're going to go for that RDL. And back to balance. And lateral. Big reach. Back to balance. Find that balance. And back down. All right, shake that out. Onto the right side, right foot down, left foot up. Find that balance. Good, sprinter's position. Up. Good. Keep that knee up. Excuse me, RDL. Single leg balance. And back up. And a lateral. Big reach. Stretch that lat. And back to balance. See, a little quick touch. One more time that leg. Into that sprinter's position. And up. Good, RDL. Hinge over airplane. Last time, really extend those arms and legs. Find that balance. I'm going to hang you out here for a little bit. 5 more seconds right here. 10 more seconds right here. 15 more seconds. Go ahead and back center. And a lateral reach. Last time, big reach. Really get that toe out as far as you can. And back center. And back down. All right, folks. Fantastic job. Just in case you wonder what my face looks like, here it is. Great work. Hopefully you worked on that balance a little bit better from where we started. We'll keep on working that. If you're finding that balance is a issue, okay, especially since we're sitting around a lot, we're not quite firing up that neuromuscular system as we normally would, even just walking around as much from a normal day. So what I challenge you to do is brushing your teeth, waiting for the microwave, cooking, staying on a single leg. Don't have to get all the way up here. Just kind of float that leg over and be able to manipulate that center of gravity and challenge your body to find where balance is. All right? Switching those legs back and forth throughout the day, improve that balance through the your left ankle. Challenge your balance throughout the week. It's a good way to help improve. All right? Don't think about it as homework, Steve. Think about it as self-improvement. Okay? All right, folks. That's it for us today, this evening. We'll see you back tomorrow morning for some morning mobility. Roll out those calves if you have them, or those ankles or anything in between.